The bottom line is what we don't want to see is your social media become what we call Exhibit A.
When you're also in court and you've got binders stacked up of just words everywhere, what's great is a picture. Just a picture.
What if divorce doesn't have to be a war? Welcome to the Splitting Smart podcast, where we help smart professionals navigate divorce with strategy, clarity, and a little more peace. I'm Kelly Bennett, your host, longtime family law attorney and divorce mediator. Are you ready? Let's start the show. Welcome back to the Splitting Smart podcast. I'm Kelly Bennett, senior attorney here at Saperi Law and Mediation, and joining me today is our senior family law attorney, Alexandria Zeiss, or Zeus, as we call you. Yeah. So, thank you, and welcome to the studio. We're going to be seeing a lot more of you, Alex. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about this topic of, can my social media impact me negatively in my divorce case, whether I'm in court or in mediation? It's a big one. We get this question all the time, don't we?
And it comes up in the cases where you don't get the question.
Right.
Maybe just as bad.
Right. Exactly. What's the short answer to that question?
Yes. Yes.
100% yes.
I mean, it's a public announcement. So you just have to think of it that way. You might think it's only your friends are seeing it, but inevitably you or your ex are going to wind up getting in other relationships. You're going to talk to your friends about what's going on in your life, and they are going to get curious.
Yep. And it's natural to do that. But what we tend to advise people is, all right, we're rolling into a divorce case. We're going to be down at the court, and if we've got an attorney on the other side paying attention, we don't need the noise of your social media. Mm-hmm. So what do we tell people to do? Not delete your account, but just silence it. Mm-hmm. How do you silence the accounts? I think it's you suspend it, right?
They each have that option. And I mean, you might have to do a little digging, mm-hmm. maybe even just do the chat, because to go through all the options, it'll take longer.
Yeah.
But they have that feature. I know I've used it. And then everything's there, because what we also don't want to do is have you delete it and then have an issue with the, deleting evidence later on.
Right.
So you can't get rid of it, but you can set it aside.
Right. And not make it obvious. Mm-hmm. What a lot of people will do is, we've got many cases where one party, we've got an active one right now, where the wife is asking for spousal support and she's claiming she's disabled and doesn't have any income, mm-hmm. and that she lives alone in the house and all of this. On the flip side, her social media shows her out partying almost every night, talks about her work and her cash under the table that she's getting, mm-hmm. and most importantly, her live-in boyfriend. And here in California, when you have a live-in, mate, then there's a presumption under the law that you don't need spousal support. Mm-hmm. So what she's done is, instead of taking it offline, this is a Facebook account, mm-hmm. and Instagram, what she's done is she's just blocked our client, but they have a lot of friends and family, and guess what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. Everyone else is watching it.
Right.
Everyone else
taking screenshots.
Mm-hmm. Screenshots.
Right.
And then they're sending it to them. And that's even worse, though, because then if you're caught later, you have that moment, you have that freak out moment. And if you hit delete, now you got a problem, because now there's a screenshot of what it was.
Right.
And now it's gone.
Yep, exactly. So it looks like you're tampering
mm-hmm.
with evidence or trying to suppress evidence. So that's not cool. So the bottom line is, what we don't want to see is your social media become what we call Exhibit A. And so it would be an exhibit to any kind of filing we're making with the court, like mm-hmm. that case we're talking about with the wife who wants spousal support. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what's going to show up in our opposition to her request to the court is Exhibit A. Facebook, baby. It's all over the place. You know what? When you're also in court and you've got binders stacked up of just words everywhere, because, all the fun, what's great is a picture.
just a picture.
Yeah.
That's all you have to show the judge. You don't have to say anything.
And sometimes it's just as small as a funny caption. You think you're being a smart aleck on your captions, but boy, we can really...
Or in the comments, and then it starts another thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want to see it as Exhibit A. And the two main areas, we've kind of touched on a little bit of it, but the two main areas where we see social media really creating some hiccups for people is one in parenting and co-parenting issues, and two in finances. So let's talk for a second about the parenting and co-parenting. How can social media be used against you when it comes to custody and time sharing and co-parenting?
Well, so my answer to this is, I mean, if you have custody of your kids and all of a sudden you're posting on social media and your ex knows that you have custody, it begs the question, where are the kids?
Right.
What are you doing? This is supposed to be time that you have with your kids, that you should be focused on them, doing things with them. And if you just parked them in front of the TV or an iPad, and then you've gone in the other room to go post on social media.
Well, that, or even the pictures of you in Las Vegas for the weekend with your girlfriends or with your man friends on a weekend that you have the children. And so the question is, where are the children? Are they out in casinos? Are they at shows till 2 o'clock? Of course they're not.
It creates questions, and that creates suspicion. And then if you actually are doing well in a co-parenting relationship, it can very easily turn. And you might not even know why. You have no idea why, your ex is all of a sudden just enraged with you.
Right. Well, and I think also this is an area where when we have parents that are very angry about the divorce, where we can see parental alienation conduct going on. And so those will be the angry posts about, I had to take my kids to the doctor again because dad doesn't take care of them when they're with him and they get sick all of the time. And here we go. I mean, it is amazing how much bashing is going on social media. But the problem is we can bring that to the courts for our judges to see. And that creates some real hiccups, because if it looks like you are alienating and you're the parent least likely to promote and foster that kid's relationship with the other parent, what's the court going to do? It's going to consider it.
Well, especially if that kid happens to follow you or was a friend with you. And so they're seeing it in their feed. You're not thinking about that, but they are.
Yeah.
So.
Or the friends are, and they say, oh, my mom said this, that, or the other. Right. So it's really important. So co-parenting and parenting issues. Let's talk about financial issues. We kind of touched on it with spousal support, seeing the boyfriend and we're going out partying. How else can it affect the financials?
Well, I mean, I think just in general, no one's, putting reality up online. So you want to have the memories of the fun experiences. But the problem is that's probably not your daily life. And it's probably not going to be what you're telling the court about. So it goes to your credibility. It undermines everything. And quite frankly, if you're going in front of a judge, judges are very private. They don't have their families on social media, any sort of website, anything you can find out about them. And they don't post. So you got to know your audience. And then know they're literally called judges. So they're going to judge you for what you're doing.
Right.
But they can't sympathize. They can't understand, because if this is your case and you're worried about your kids and you're worried about money, all you had to do is not post. It's so simple.
Let's talk about how this affects mediation, because we do a lot of mediations here. Divorce mediation is, in our opinion, the way to go. Alex and I both work very hard to settle our litigated cases, our court cases. But divorce mediation is absolutely the e-ticket ride to less expense, never darkening the door of the courthouse, all of that. However, it doesn't help us as we are having parties come in to mediate when they have all of a sudden decided to take to social media between they decide together, okay, yes, we agree, we're adults, we're going to be civil, we're going to come into mediation. And then between the time they agree on that and the time they actually have their first session, because there's some prep work that needs to be done, if we decide we're going to start posting some really unkind things out there, what happens? It can either take the mediation 100% off the table. The other side says, forget about it. Screw you. I'll see you in court. Right. Or it just, it is a polarizing effect. So then it makes our work harder as mediators to come in and say, okay, what is this anger about? Yeah. And it gets barfed out. And now we spend a third of the time in our mediation session overcoming all of this issue.
And you didn't pay to mediate about social media, but you get so distracted. Yeah. And honestly, when someone's in that mindset, you're not going to get anything done with them because they are spiraling. Mm-hmm. So, and then you got to take time to calm down and refocus. And then everyone's on edge for the rest of the day. And that's not what you want to have when you're trying to actually get your life together, get it settled, and then not have to return. But if you waste half the day on it, you waste half the day on it.
So the bottom line is we think it's probably best to just go dark on social media while you're focusing on your case. And if you don't, then use it the other way around to create a history of being a cooperative co-parent and complimenting the other parent, posting pictures that kind of signal to your kids it's okay to love the other parent. Look, they had such a great time this weekend with their dad. Most people can't be big enough to do that, but let me tell you, if you can, it's a game changer.
And it takes the wind out of their sails too, because if they want to fight with you, just pick a fight because they're angry and they're not happy and something didn't go their way, and they start picking at you, and then you just cannot be bothered. It takes the wind out of their sails. All of a sudden you've just disengaged. You drop the rope and you're done. And they can keep trying, but they're just going to look silly after a while. Yeah. And I will say too, it's not just during the divorce, because within the 6 months after you have a judgment entered, that can get set aside very easily. So if you go crazy and decide to celebrate and you're out having this big party, and meanwhile, there's a little buyer's remorse going on the other side, that is a surefire way to just get it blown up.
It's an invitation. Mm-hmm. It's an invitation. Yep. So social media is just, it's something to be handled with kid gloves. I guess,
and it will always come back up. So, it's forever.
Yep. So we're really good at using it. You don't want to face somebody like us who knows how to use it, right?
And we'll find you.
Right. So, all right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this little episode. Hey, if you're interested in figuring out, hey, I got to get this divorce done. I got to get it done out of court. I don't want to spend 3 years and $100,000 doing it. Hit us up. You'll see the link below to make an inquiry, and we'd be happy to meet with you on it. Also, as always, I always like to point to this. This is a little book that I wrote, and we use it with all of our clients. It's about your identity and defining who you are as you go through the divorce process. Victim is not your name. It's about empowering you to look forward to the positive journey ahead of you instead of getting mired down in the drudgery and sludgery of divorce.
And all it's saying is what your name isn't. So you get to decide.
That's right.
Who you're going to be.
100%. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Alex, thanks for joining me. And
you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Great convo. I'll have you again, as you know. All right. Peace out.